What's up, everybody? I'm Gage.
I'm Nick.
And we are Square One Kicks. In today's review, we will be looking at the Kyrie 2 Green Glows. This is the second model of the Kyries. I believe this is one of the first of the Kyries to come out.
I think this is like the third one to come out of them.
It was definitely one of the first three to come out. But in today's review, we will be looking at some of the features, the designs, and the benefits that this shoe provides for Kyrie himself and for anyone that's just looking for a nice shoe to ball out in.
We're going to jump right into it and kind of talk about the shoe overall first. I'd say the look of it is definitely a unique look.
Yeah. Compared to the Kyrie ones, if you remember, it was much more flat at the bottom. Looked more like it's like more rectangular on the sole. It's still curved down, but then at the toe box it kind of like squared off. With the Kyrie 2s, it's much more rounded, especially around the heel. It's good and bad. We'll get to that. But I like the look overall. I definitely like the addition of the strap they've added as well.
Definitely the biggest.
It's definitely
thing that they changed.
Definitely one of the biggest things they could have done to this, along with the changing of the sole as well. The material of the shoe, it's got some light mesh up top. It's kind of like bulleted, so there's holes throughout it. It's breathable. It helps makes it breathable as well. It doesn't trap in much heat. And then under all that black mesh, you can see the green glow material underneath it. And then at the very front of the toe box, it's got a nice plastic ironed-on overlay. That's going to help with reinforcements, especially when you're stopping. You're doing sudden cuts. It's going to help maintain your foot in there, so it's going to reduce the chance of ripping through your shoe. So now some of the other features to look at. The lacing system as well. It's not like your standard shoe where the laces go parallel to each other. They are actually diagonal. Go to the sole, because this is the sole next to the strap is actually one of the most unique things about this shoe.
I'd say definitely being that the way that it's rounded off. A lot of basketball shoes that you see now have that very flat, squared off edging to it. And you see it with the Kobe's, the KD's, all the big name shoes and signature shoes out there. They have that flat sole on it. The Kyrie went with a rounded sole, but it can also hurt you in the aspect of it allows your foot to roll. And you'll see in some of the clips that we play, I was testing the shoe out, that my foot rolls a lot. I wasn't ready to have that kind of rounded off sole, so it was really different for me. It took some getting used to.
The sole does have a nice oval pivot circle right there on the bottom for his movements. His initials there, Kyrie Irving in the back heel. Nothing too special about that.
Even though it is rounded off on the bottom, they do make up for it in some aspects, just to prevent you from injuring your ankles and ruining your
ruining your career.
Better career, yeah.
So that's the sole. It's definitely a nice transition from the Kyrie one. Next, we'll be moving on to the strap. So, the strap, we love it. What can we say? The strap was designed to keep your ankle in place and push to the back. So regardless of if you had to accelerate or decelerate, the strap is going to help design so it stays in place there. And in my experience with some of the straps in trainer shoes, it is true. I still don't believe that they do anything for me. However, for the Kyrie 2, that's a different story. I personally believe, and with Nick's experience, we believe that this does actually keep your heel up.
I think that's a big thing that we could mention too, is that it is a mid shoe. So the way that strap works along with the support that they built into the shoe, your ankle is really locked in there. Again, like I said, being that it rounds off, you have that tendency to roll your ankle out a little bit. This is their way of making up for that and keeping your ankle in place. It does make the shoe a little bit difficult to get on, just because there's so much going on right there in that ankle. The strap sometimes flaps in the way, and then the lacing is very tight, and you have that diagonal lacing that actually just makes everything a little tricky. But I mean, you don't not get a shoe just because it's hard to get on. because the shoe is going to help you in the long run of just preventing ankle injuries and sustaining your health.
I mean, what's a few seconds of putting a shoe on to your whole career being over from not getting it? So, I mean, it is tough. It is a mid-top shoe, so with the ankle support and the mid-top, it's definitely going to help a lot. Overall, this shoe meets every aspect, along with the addition to the thick ankle with the support strap and with the thick sole. It's a very, very thick shoe. There is just a slight break-in period in regards to the flexibility of the sole. The material on the outside, though, it's very light, so there's not much to do with that. So then we're gonna go to the insole.
Very thin. It is a cushiony insole, but I don't think you're really getting much out of the shoe because of the insole. It's just kind of in there to create a little padding, make the shoe a little bit more comfortable. There's not any real specific support, as you can see. It's just very kind of flimsy. So if you're looking for something that has a very thick insole, this wouldn't be your shoe. But again, a lot of shoes don't have that thick insole. The Kobe 11 is much different from other shoes. They put a really thick midsole in there. So this is just really strictly designed for comfort, just to make the shoe a little bit more comfortable throughout the game time.
My experience with this shoe compared to the Kyrie one, I definitely prefer the Kyrie 2 overall. Primarily because that ankle strap, it does make a difference in terms of stability and how it's going to secure you in place. The thickness around the ankle, it feels like a thick sock is around your foot as well. I definitely like the diagonal design of the laces because it definitely doesn't feel like the laces are sitting on top of my foot. It feels like it's actually going with my foot as it curves down. So definitely do not feel anything there. The only thing that does hinder me back, while the sole, it does have some of the best traction that you can find in a basketball shoe because it's so rounded. Some lateral movements, when you do them, it's very easy to roll your ankle because it's round. It's also very thick, so there's not a lot of flexibility to that. With minimal flexibility, you do get a lot of stability out of it. So just depending on the kind of shoe you want, I prefer to move quicker. I prefer to cut. So this shoe, ideally, it is nice. It wouldn't be my go-to shoe.
I like the shoe a lot. I also play in it. My Kobe's are like my go-to shoe, but this is my second shoe that I do prefer to play in, just for the support aspect of things. My only worry whenever I do play in it is just because of that rounded off sole that my foot tends to roll, and it's just a weird feeling. And if you guys do ever take the time to try out the shoe, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You're like, it's just like you're always just kind of like on a ball feeling, and that's the best way I can explain it. The material is super durable. The strap makes it a real durable shoe. So in the aspect of like it lasting a while, the shoe's gonna last you years, I would say, as long as you don't grow out of it.
As long as, like I said, as long as you don't grow out of it, and if you keep it to basketball court surface specifically, the bottom, the traction, it's gonna last you long. Taking them outside, the concrete is just gonna pick at the bottom, and it's gonna wear down much more quicker than it's intended to. This shoe meets 10 in every aspect.
Agreed.
It's got the strap, the thickness in the ankle, the thick sole, and the traction. As far as comfort though, the insole, very thin, as Nick mentioned. If you compare it to the Kobe 11, nowhere near in comparison. So it kind of drops there for me. But overall, the shoe, the balanced out, I give it an 8.
My rating, I give it a 7.5. And like I agree with the support. I don't know, it's just like
I need different 7 from 7.5.
That was like the first number that came to my head. The 0.5 that I took off compared to his rating was based off the support. Being that I have played more in the shoe, I take off the 0.5. But I would recommend trying the shoe out.
So that was the review on the Kyrie 2 Green Glows. We hope you guys enjoyed this video. We hope we were able to inform you on all the aspects of the shoe. If you like what you saw, hit the subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, like us on our Facebook page, and stay tuned for more to come. Once again, I'm Gage.
I'm Nick.
And we are Square One Kicks.